end of training camp here in Oxnard. Brianna Aldridge joined by Mickey Spagnola with the Cowboys. And Mickey, it's almost over. It's almost done, and we're back to Frisco.
You know, a lot of people, when we come to training camp, they have their little calendar and they start marking off the days. And I'm going, no, don't ever do that, because there may be less mark-offs than how many are left. But I think now that we're in the last week, we only got a couple days left. So, yeah, the end is near, although I wish I could bring this weather home with me.
Same. We got some hot weather waiting for us back in the DFW. But for Oxnard, we did get some positive news, if you will, for injury updates. I think Tyler Guyton was one that stood out to me today. Brian Schottenheimer saying that he's taking to the rehab pretty nicely. He's out here walking around. But what do you think his chances of coming week one? Well,
when he initially suffered the knee injury, they said 4 to 6 weeks. So when they said that, and it sounded like, well, he's going to be out for a while, and then I go, wait a minute, we haven't even hit August. There's at least 4 weeks in August, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be close for the opener. I think maybe he recovers from the injury in time, but he's got to get back in shape. He's got to put the pads on, so they may have to give him a ramp-up time, but I think he won't have to be placed on PUP where you have to miss the first 4 games of the season. So I thought the fact that he's out here now watching practice, I think that's a step in the right direction.
What do you think about the news about, well, we saw Bremen Spanford out here. His boot is off. He was walking around as well.
He's getting there. My understanding is he strained his meniscus or his MCL. And those usually take 4 weeks. So he's got a chance, at least he's out of the boot. And, you know, while he's not here, some of these other guys are stepping up, like Princeton Fant has gotten a lot of play here in his absence. So it'd be interesting to see if he can get back in time, because you can't keep putting all these guys on PUP, because they have to be on the roster for 53, or on the 53 for 24 hours before you can do that. So I bet they're hoping that he's back in time.
And then not so much of bad news, it's just really no answers yet. Rookie running back Jaden Blue, who was injured or last week with the ankle/foot injury, he said there was really no timetable, and he's out there still not practicing. So I feel like it's unlikely he'll be out there for these the next preseason game at least.
Yeah, they were hopeful that he would be back in time for Saturday's preseason game against Baltimore, but when he didn't work today, Sanders did, by the way. So that was a good step. Yeah, if he doesn't work tomorrow, the practice on Thursday before they leave is going to be short and basically a walkthrough. And then Friday, it's a walkthrough, the game's on Saturday. So, yeah, if he doesn't do anything tomorrow, I would think maybe he gets back in next week when they get back to the start.
Let's talk a little bit about who is playing, who we saw on Saturday, and sticking with the running back since we're talking about him. It was the Mafah and Malik Davis show. What did you think about those two just in general? I mean, Malik Davis just got back on the team.
It was weird, because he got here one day. Basically, it's what they call a mock game. It's a walkthrough. They signed him that morning. And then the next day, he's out on the field in pads running the football, right? And I joked with somebody, and I think it was on our pregame show, that I said, he better eat his Wheaties, because with the injuries they have, they're going to wear him out. And it waited to the fourth quarter because Mafah did such a nice job. But he got in there, and it was like, I think he ended up with 6-9 carries, something like that, 63 yards. And it's like, well, that's the guy that I'd seen before in training camps, and then he never could make the team other than his rookie year when he played 12 games. They always ended up on the practice squad. So the fact that he's back, and by the way, a little aside, is he told me if they had called him the week before, he wouldn't have been able to come and play, because he had just had his 4 impacted wisdom teeth surgically removed. And if anybody's ever had that done, I had it, and it takes a while to recover from, right?
I remember looking like a little chipmunk. So I'm glad he got that the week prior, because they definitely needed a body out there for sure. There's just, like you said, there's some injuries, but it's Miles Sanders being back, obviously. Hopefully he can get out there preseason 2 game, but who knows for that. But
and Mafah, I just like the way he runs. I mean, he gained 1,000 yards playing in Atlantic Coast Conference. That means something. He was playing with a torn labrum, and so it was bad enough that he couldn't participate in the combine. So he finally did a pro day, but again, he couldn't do everything. So now he's totally healthy, and you can see how he's running. They're going to have a hard decision on how many running backs they're going to need to keep. I know it's usually 3 and a fullback, but I don't know if he keeps running like that you can get him on the practice squad. Somebody might pick him off before he clears waivers.
Speaking of some competition on the offense, let's go to the wide receivers real quick, because that list of names is growing, and I think they're going to have a hard time deciding who gets to stay, because Holden keep making a name for himself.
Yes.
Flanoy flashed at the game. Who else do we have? Tolbert was playing more reps than I thought he would, so
Right.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Jonathan Mingo obviously is trying to make a name for himself. What have you seen with the wide receivers?
Yeah, I think it's maybe the deepest group on the team, because I think you can look at it and say, okay, they normally keep 5, and if we're logically looking at it and Tolbert's one of the 5, then Mingo, Turpin, and then your 2 stars, right? But these guys, the way I look at it, the 3 guys that you mentioned, they got their hand up in the air about, don't forget about me. So maybe they're competing for the 6th spot. And you mentioned Flanoy, and this Holden guy just keeps making plays. And it might have been before you got here, it seemed like every day he was making a spectacular catch, right? And then he has 2 nice catches in the scrimmage, and it's like, okay, this kid's got something. My thought was, can you get him through waivers and put him on the practice squad? Because I'm thinking every team has a guy like that, right? So they don't need to take yours. So we'll see how it pans out. But I think they're solid at 5, and they'll see if they can carry 6.
It's going to be very interesting, and I was just breaking down the offense, but we got to go before we get kicked off, because Cowboys looks like they're going to be doing their next part of practice.
Oh my,
here.
they're ready to practice.
So that's it for now. For Brianna Aldridge, for Mickey Spagnola. Thank you, Mickey.
Sure.